And then I'm seeing Minyo, Richard, Ojara Charles. You guys are most welcome. All right, the rest will find us wherever we'll be. So let's get into it. What is fitness? Or when we talk about fitness, what comes to your mind? Oftentimes, when we hear the word fitness, what comes into our brain is maybe exercise or running or whichever way you describe exercise. But fitness is not just a single concept because it is wide. It's multi. It is not something that is um, confined to a specific thing. So it's diverse. It can be defined in so many ways. And today we want to define it in the aspect of nutrition. All right. So fitness is a multi-faced concept that encompasses various aspects of physical, mental, and social well-being. So basically, when we talk about fitness, it's not just about the physical. It brings in the mental aspects, the social aspects, the nutritional aspects, the environmental aspects, so many things put together that contributes to fitness. So we are saying fitness by definition, or in other definition, is a state of being physically and mentally capable of performing tasks and activities effectively and efficiently. Now we know that for you to do an activity efficiently or effectively, it means you have to be physically fit, you have to be mentally stable, your environment has to be conducive, or even your stomach has to be full so that you can be in a good mood. So for you to be an effective person, there are so many factors that you have to consider before you can become a fully active individual. And that's why we bring in the aspect of fitness. All right. We're also saying fitness is not just about having a lean body or being able to run a marathon. It includes a range of components that contribute to the overall health and wellness. Okay? So this is just what I've defined. It is not just about maybe going to the gym and working out and having a lean body or having a big body or whichever kind of body you desire, but it has all the other aspects that we bring in. So when somebody talks about fitness, you don't have to limit your imagination on only exercises. You have to bring in food, you have to bring in environment, you have to bring in your mental health, because all this together brings out fitness. Okay. Now let's look at the different components into details, or one by one. Let's start with physical fitness. So physical fitness refers to the body's ability to perform various physical activities and tasks. And it is often broken down into several components as well. So when we now talk about physical from its term, it's anything that requires our energy, for example, running, lifting, or anything that requires the input of our energy to do physically. We refer to that as a physical fitness. And for example, flexibility. For you to be flexible, you need that physical energy. For example, if you're stretching or if you do yoga, that requires energy. And for that flexibility to be in place, it means you are actually very fit. And then the other one is cardiovascular endurance. When we talk about cardio, it's more of how your body reacts to activities that require excessive consumption of energy. So, for example, when you run on a treadmill, you're already exercising the burning of energy. And not everyone can actually do that. Much as anyone can do it, but not a lot of people can do it because that requires a lot of energy. If you're running, you're sweating, you're doing a very stiff cardio, that means you're very fit. And then the other one is muscular endurance. Fitness also comes in that form because now this is where the gym boys and the gym girls come in. And for you to be flexible or for you to be considered fit in the physical fitness, it means you're using your energy to be able to do a muscular kind of activity. Maybe let's say you're lifting weights or you're carrying heavy stuff and you're actually fit to do it. And then another component of physical fitness is the body composition. How is your body composed? Is it composed in a way that you can be able to lift yourself? Because we understand there's some conditions where you're not able to maybe move in a proper way, or maybe you're not in a position to lift heavy things. That that makes you lack a specific component within yourself. So flexibility comes about the use of energy and how you can actually be able to carry an activity with it. And that is what we term to as physical fitness. The ability of your body to perform a physical activity. That will take us to the second type of fitness, which is mental. Mental fitness involves cognitive and emotional well-being. A mentally fit individual is resilient, able to manage stress, think critically, and maintain good emotional health. And some aspects include the following: stress management. For you to be fit, like we said, it's not just about you being healthy or being able to run. Yes, you can be able to run, but are you able to manage your stress? If yes, how? Are you able to act fast? Are you able to think fast? For example, you've been given a task, or you've been given a specific project that you're supposed to do. But because you have so many other things in your head, you have a family to think about, you have your health to think about, you have so many other human problems. So if you're not fit enough, the activity of your brain might not function to the fullest, because there is some part of it that is divided and is thinking towards very many other different things. And so, for you to be considered mentally fit, it means you should be able to manage stress. When a problem comes on, or when a situation arises that requires you to put your decision, or to decide very fast, that is when we can consider it to be somebody who is mentally fit, because you know the repercussion that if I do this, this will be the outcome, or if I do this, that will be the outcome. So we've seen, for example, we've seen some people who we don't consider as mentally fit. If a certain problem arises, you find that this person just ends up becoming even more depressed, because their mind is not tuned to thinking of a solution, or what can I do if this comes up, or how can I do it if this comes up. So as we are saying, for you to be considered mentally fit, you should be able to manage stress, or cognitive abilities that brings in things to do with thinking, uh, even how you communicate with people, how you manage trauma or depression, and how you meander around things to make sure that you get a solution. And then under that mental, we still have resilience. Now, different people have different definitions of resilience. So, for you to be considered fit, every day we have problems that arise within us. We have goals, we have aspirations, we have so many things that we are fighting for. But are you resilient enough to make sure that these goals come into realities? Because obviously there are going to be so many obstacles on the way. There are going to be so many things that are going to, you know make you feel like giving up. But are you resilient enough to continue doing it, even if you feel like it's not going to end anywhere? So this aspect of mental, you're able to tune your mind to decide that situations will always come, but this is how I will solve it. Or in other words, it's being self-aware. Like you are aware that something might happen at any time, so you prepare your mind to be able to tackle excuse me, whatever comes. And that's what we call resilience. So for you to be considered mentally fit, it means you're able to move around all those aspects of your life, managing stress, having resilience, so that you can actually achieve your goals, because it's going to be hard anyway. All right. And then the next one is social fitness. Okay. What is social fitness? Social fitness pertains to an individual's ability to build and maintain healthy relationship with others. Now, we know different types of social fitness. have introverts, we have those who are extroverts, we have those who are in between, we have those who are, I don't know, there are so many. Okay. Now, social fitness is what brings in how you interact with people. Because you cannot be physically fit, but you're rude. It means socially you're not fit. You cannot be mentally fit and then you don't know how to relate with another person. So understanding how you relate on one is a social fitness, because remember, we are in a community and you can never live alone. You will always be dealing with people. You will always be interacting with people today, tomorrow, every day of your life, and you need people. And for you to be with people, you should have this social fitness, which includes communication skills. How do you communicate with people? How do you relate if something happens between two people? How do you solve it? Or if a problem arises or a conflict between you and another person, how do you take it? How do you calm down and try to solve things? That is social fitness. That means you're able to relate with people in different societies. And this includes inflexibility, because we might be brought up in a community where people are hostile, for example. It does not mean if you go to another society where people are calm, you're supposed to act calm. You're supposed to act like how people act. You're supposed to relate with people. You don't have to bring the mentality that you have and impose it on other people. In other words, you have to understand how does this community work, or how do they do their things. So if you're able to relate with them, how they communicate, it means you actually respect them, and it also means that you can be able to live in different diversities. The other aspect of it is relationship building. Yeah, we have this notion that I'm not a people's person. That's okay because that's your personality. But still, it does not, just because you're not a people's person does not mean you cannot build relationships with people. Yes, you can. Because I know people who are introverts who don't talk, but they have real serious relationships with people, like relationships that include in respect, relationships that have the aspect of care and so many other things. Because this is a human being and I'm a human being. They have their difference and I have my difference. But now, if you accept to live in their differences, that's when you can be able to build very lasting relationships that have trust in them. So you're able to actually build relationships with people and live with people. It means socially you're able to interact with people. And one thing you should know is at the end of the day, we need people. So social fitness is a very important aspect, because tomorrow, the other day, we'll need each other. Okay. The other one is environmental fitness. And what is environmental fitness? Just from the word environment, sometimes if we don't understand the environment, it becomes very hard for us to live in it. An environment does not just mean the plants and the houses and the trees around it, but what is happening in that environment. Are you alert? What is happening in this community? What is happening in the neighborhood? Okay, what is the state of the country? What is the state of the economy? Being alert, like you're able to tell, oh, tomorrow there's going to be this and this forum in this country. You know your environment, you study your environment, and if you know your environment, you're able to live peacefully, so that things don't just happen and you become surprised, oh, I didn't know this was happening. So you have to be well versed with whatever is taking place in the environment. So this is about adapting and thriving in the environment in which you live in. And this includes the ability to make sustainable choices and reduce the negative impact on the surroundings. Now, under environment, we should know that it is our responsibility as human beings to make sure that we take care of it, because it is like an ecosystem. Now, for example, you tell me that you're physically fit, you're mentally fit, and everything is fit, but you're passing on the road, you're eating a biscuit, and you're throwing the papers on the road. How do we term that? Or you're moving on the road and you're just spitting. it means you're not taking care of your environment, and you're supposed to be the very person to ensure that where I live or the surrounding I live, I take care of it because it's my responsibility at the end of the day. And this does not come from somebody telling you, it just comes from you, because it starts with you. This is my environment, I have to take care of it, and this is how it takes me. We know the trees giving us oxygen. What do we do to the trees? So it's a responsibility towards each other. So if we can be aware about our environment and what we are supposed to do and what we are not supposed to do, we can be able to live peacefully. The other aspect is sustainability in the environment. How do you sustain your environment? Because according to records and research, we've seen cases of global warming and the ozone layer and all this. How did this all come about? It's because we didn't take the initiative in the first place to understand, if we do this, what is the impact? How is it going to affect us? Because at the end of the day, if this still happens, it is still going to affect us. And now we will not be terming ourselves as fit, because there is an aspect in our life that has disorganized the whole arrangement. So whether it's at your place of work, whether it's in your house, you should be able to know that that is your environment. If it is your room, you know that is your environment. How are you dealing with the room when you wake up in the morning? How are you dealing with the room? Because remember, in the evening, it is still you who is going to come back to that house. So if you don't take care of the environment or the bed you sleep in or the food that you eat or the utensils that you wash, it means you're not very fit, because it has to include in all those aspects. And for you to be a really fit person, it means everything has to be in order, whether it comes to your health, to your food, to the people, and the environment. That way, you consider yourself a fit person. Okay, the next one is nutritional fitness. Can I still confirm that you guys can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Never mind. Just proceed.
All right. All right. So the other thing is about nutritional fitness. Like I said yesterday, we talked about nutrition. But now, in the aspect of fitness, we also have nutritional fitness. So, what is nutritional fitness? We said yesterday, nutrition is to do with food and the essential things that we take into our body, the nutrients. So, how does it relate with fitness? For you to have a very fit body, that means you have to be very sure of what you eat. You don't just eat because you want to eat, okay? You don't just eat because you've been served food, but eat because you're hungry, because you're craving, or because you want to eat. Diet that provides essential nutrients to support your physical and mental health. The reason why we are saying this nutritional fitness is above all this is because for you to have that energy that you need to actually work out, and that energy you can get it from food. You know, if you eat, you get that energy that you require for your body to be able to carry out all those activities. And that's why it's very important for you to know the choices of food that you want to eat so that it can support your physical and mental health. And then we also have dietary choices can impact body weight, energy levels, and overall well-being. Okay, like I said in the beginning, I said you don't just eat because you want to eat. You have to consider a balanced diet. You have to consider food that you want your body to make. For example, if you want to lose weight, you need to eat a certain amount of calories. If you want to lose weight, you need to eat a certain amount of calories. If you want to lose weight, you need to eat a certain amount of calories. If you want to lose weight, you need to eat a certain amount of calories. If you want to lose weight, you need to eat a certain amount of calories. that I want, and this is what I will do towards it, or I'm going to do to get it. So, in other words, it's like you setting a goal. You set your goal, which is a smart goal, and you know that, okay, I'm going to do this by this time. I'm supposed to be doing this. So, you set a goal and you know that I'm supposed to be doing this. This activity today, this activity tomorrow. At the end of the day, it is going to lead me to that specific goal that I have set. So all the small activities today, it is going to lead me to that specific goal that I have set. So all the small activities that you do to devolve the TikTok, the Facebook, the Instagram, and whatever, all those social media platforms. Now, we know that sleep is a very, very, very essential thing to do, because when the body rests, the body becomes fresh, and the body becomes active. Just take for instance, today if you sleep at 8, trust me, or if you sleep at 9, I don't know what time you sleep. So the next day you wake up, take for instance, you at work, you have so many important one. So what happens at the end of the day? We neglect to sleep so that we can get rest. Why? Because we want to make that money. Because you know what? If I don't exercise, I will not be able to do this. That's why it is important for you to set your, by this time I'm supposed to be doing this, or by this time I'm supposed to be doing this, so that when your time for rest comes, you know that I'm supposed to be resting. I'm supposed to be getting some sleep. So if you sleep and you still be physically fit, that will not be possible. Because for you to be physically fit, you need that rest so that you can be strong the next day, so that you can do that exercise. That is why somebody maybe sleeps very late, you wake up very late, you're very tired, you're very dormant the whole day. You end up, you know what? I'll just do the exercise tomorrow. You have procrastinated. At the end of the day, it contributes to so many negative impacts. So please ensure that you get some sleep, some rest. It is very important for your body. So we are saying adequate sleep and rest are essential for physical and mental recovery and overall well-being. Sleep hygiene practice. So sleep hygiene practice is just like how you make your routine. You know that I'm sleeping at 10. Tomorrow I'm waking up at 6. Okay, the next day I'm sleeping at 10 and I'm waking up at 6. You know, it becomes a habit, and a habit will develop and it will just become, a normal life behavior, like something that you do every day. It just becomes a normal thing. So a sleep hygiene practice is very important. And then what else? Creating comfortable sleep environments contributes to fitness. This is another one. All right, we said for you to be fit, it doesn't mean just sleep. Yes, you're supposed to sleep, but where are you sleeping? Are you just going to sleep because you're sleeping? You need that comfort so that you can have that rest. Because let's say you come back from work and you're very tired, you didn't even get time to take a shower. You know what? I will take a shower tomorrow. There's no problem. You just sleep. Your laptop is open, your books are open the other side, your phone is open the other side. You just sleep because you're very tired. And at the end, at midnight, you see mosquitoes disturbing you this side, or your leg there is being bitten by, I don't know, whatever, some insects. This this just describes that you have not set yourself to understand that I'm supposed to do this and do this and do this, your sleep routine. So for you to get this really comfortable rest, you need to arrange yourself. You know I'm supposed to be sleeping. Okay. You lay your net, because of course if you don't do it, you know mosquitoes will disturb you. And for you to have that good sleep, of course, make your net, you sleep comfortably. So tomorrow when you wake up, you continue with your work and you're fresh and you're energized. So it's not just about sleep and rest and stuff, but the activities that come with it, the habits that you do around that sleep actually contributes to your rest and sleep. The next one is lifestyle choices. Lifestyle choices can range from so many things, from eating habits, from your exercises, from your relation with people, etc. Your behavior in the society. These are lifestyle choices. It is you to choose, I'm this human being and this is how I want to behave. I'm this kind of a person and this is how I want to be treated. Like they say, the way you behave is the way people will treat you. So, which lifestyle do you choose? Do you choose to smoke? Do you choose to consume alcohol? Or what is it that you choose? Because remember, at the end of the day, it is your life. It is you to design it the way you want. So, if you design it in a way that this is how I want it to run, that is exactly how it will run if you put the necessary steps that you need it to take. For example, taking alcohol. You are working class. I am not rebuking people from taking alcohol, because those are lifestyle choices and everyone has a choice on what they want to do with their life. But we are just saying sometimes it is good to limit how you smoke or how you drink your alcohol responsibly, so that now imagine you're supposed to do a presentation tomorrow, and then you decide, let's say the presentation is on a Monday, then you decide, I'm going with my friends, and then you go, you start drinking. You know that tomorrow you have something to do in the morning, maybe a report to give your manager or your boss. But then you decide, I will do it, I'll do it. So you go, you come back very late, you come back at 3 a.m. and you sleep, you're tired, you wake up the next day, you've not done anything, you're tired, you go to work, you're looking very miserable, because of course you will not look active and smart. So it becomes a challenge in our productivity. Our quality of life becomes very miserable because you have not arranged yourself. Now I would say yes, you can go with your friends, but you know that in your mind that tomorrow I have something to do, you can always excuse yourself and nobody will put you down, because that is a lifestyle that you want. You stay there a bit, you come home, take a shower, rest, sleep. You know that tomorrow you have something. You wake up in the morning, you go to work, and you're productive. So it is all dependent on you. It is you to choose, this is how I want it to be, or this is how I don't want it to be. The last one is health monitoring. I'm sorry to say this, but with us Junubin, there is a very common myth. People say, ah, people who go for checkups, as we are born with natural immunity, as we don't get sick very easily, that's okay. But this is the deal. Health monitoring does not mean you should be sick before you go for 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 a treatment or a screening or anything. A responsible human being or a person who really wants to be fit in their life, they have to do health monitoring. And even research suggests that at least it's important. Somebody is asking a question. Just a moment. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
And you can still see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I was talking about health monitoring. It's not, you don't have to wait until you're very sick. and then you decide, I now want to go to the hospital, because it is very sad that not just in our country, but in so many other countries, people wait until they are very, very, very sick, or you're even bedridden. That's when you decide, oh, let me go to the hospital. The earlier you do it, the better for you. It doesn't have to be something very serious. Just go to a hospital and do like very simple vital checks. Check your blood pressure, check your cholesterol levels, check your body measurements. You should be knowing, I'm a human being, and this is my height, this is my weight, this is my circumference, I am this. Like, these are basic things that you're supposed to know. Because, okay, you're moving on the you're going on the road, and you know yourself. I consider that self-awareness. You know yourself. You know, this is my height, this is my weight, this is my this, my blood pressure is normal, my cholesterol level is normal, so that it is not, you know what you're supposed to do next. So this health monitoring mostly is because it gives you a front of what you have in yourself. So for example, if I go to a hospital and then I do maybe a cholesterol, and I realize that my cholesterol levels are very high, and you know that cholesterol levels, if they're high, they're not healthy for you. What do? You start taking the action on how you're supposed to maintain them or reduce them. If you go and weigh yourself and realize that you have very high weight, or your weight, it's too high, you can take the action. You know what you're supposed to do. So doing monitoring helps you to do an activity or an action that can prevent you from the actual thing from happening. That's why we said if you knew your nutrition, you would not even suffer from diabetes or hypertension. So if you knew your nutritional fitness, and you know that my nutritional levels are okay, I am fine, it will not give you the worry of, oh, you might get this disease or that disease. So it's important for us to have health monitoring, do screenings. Sometimes they're even free. When you go to the hospitals, you find that they're doing free screenings for the women. There is breast cancer screening. You go for it. There are so many things that you can do to make sure that your health is at check, because this will help you to live fit. This will help your brain to be fit, because if you know your status, you know that you're not stressed, you know that you're healthy, you know that you're fit, and you will live a very quality life. Okay, now we come to the benefits of fitness. What are the benefits of fitness? Like I said in the beginning, it is not just about a specific thing. Fitness brings in so many aspects, and if we are fit, then we can have a very quality life, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, or wherever we'll have a very healthy life. So we are saying fitness cannot be overstated because it has a profound impact on an individual's physical health, mental well-being, and overall quality of life. So if you consider the fitness that we discussed earlier on, all the types, if you put the environmental, the mental, the physical, the nutritional, and you sleep very well, you have enough rest, you do your body checks, and you know you're healthy, trust me, you live a quality life, because you are on track of what you're supposed to do. So these are the effects or the benefits of fitness. We've categorized them into two, into the mental aspects and the physical aspects. And under the mental, we're talking about disease prevention. Now, disease prevention comes in the health monitoring. If you monitor yourself and you know your status, there is a high probability that you're preventing yourself from certain diseases. For example, I go to the hospital and I find out that my blood levels are very high, or my sugar levels are very, very high. What does that translate to? It means I might diabetes. So what am I supposed to? You're protecting yourself from a disease that could have occurred to you. And so it is very important. The second one is weight management. More of the same. It is your role, because I'm sure there are people, you're seated but you don't know your weight. You don't even know your height. You're just seated, like you don't know. So you don't know whether you're overweight or you're obese or you're underweight or you don't know. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad. It's not too late. You can still do that. But now, if you know, because there is power in knowing, if you know, you can be able to tackle which whatever comes after that. But now, if you don't know anything, you will not be able to take any step because you don't know what you're supposed to do. So in weight management, you can be able to know that, this is my weight. I am underweight. I need to do this so that I can come to a normal weight. Or I am overweight. I need to do this so that I can come to a normal weight. So that you're able to manage and maintain your both your physical and your mental fitness. And the third one is improved immunity. We know that immunity can be compromised by different like diseases. Okay, so if you become sick, your immunity can be compromised. So what do you do to avoid that? Food. The kind of food that you eat can help you. When you go for medical checks and they give you medication, you take it on time, you take the right dose with the right route, so that you don't cause an effect to yourself. So for you to have an improved immunity, you have to make sure that you eat well. Okay, because that translates to how our body will be able to fight against every toxic things that will come our into our body system. And then the other one is improved self-esteem. Now this one, I relate it to physical health and mental health. You will see somebody who is physically fit, you see this lady and she's very beautiful, you know and she's shining. You see this man, he has very big he has very big muscles. These people, they have very high self-esteem because they look good, they look so good. And because maybe is overweight, you realize that usually they don't have self-esteem because they don't like the way they look. So it is your responsibility to choose how you want to look, because there's nothing that you cannot do at the end of the day. So for you to boost your self-esteem, you have to make sure that your physical health is intact, your mental health is intact, so that even if you're passing on the road, you're confident of yourself. You're walking and you're very confident. You know that this is me and this is my body and this is what I've decided to do with it. And yes, I am okay with that. And self-esteem translates into confidence, translates into productivity, translates into quality life, because nothing beats you because you know what you're doing. Okay, the next one is enhanced mobility. Now this one comes to also physical. If we see in the people, when they start getting old, they start becoming weak, and that's because our cells keep dying every day, and the production of new cells is not as much as the ones when you're younger. When you're younger, your cells are produced every time you're healthy, you're strong, you're eating. But now the older you get, the weaker you become. So what does this mean? It means when you're young, you have to try as much to do exercises, to eat good foods, because all those ones are deposited in your body for future use, so that even if you become older, you're still strong. You have a lot of calcium in your bones. You're still able to walk very well. You find somebody at the age of 50, at the age of 70, 60, but they are still very strong. They're walking. They don't even need walking sticks. So that all depends with the choices that you make from now. Because the choices you make now do not manifest the effects now. It will manifest later. And that's where we face problems, because we usually want to see the results. We want to see it now. For example, if I keep eating telling you, eat healthy. You don't see the effect of eating healthy because you're still young, you're still strong. It doesn't do anything. My sister, my brother, reach 45, reach 50, you start feeling, I'm already having arthritis, already having osteoporosis. What is happening to me? The choices that you made, the smoking, the drinking, they tell you, oh, this is bad. But because it is a choice that you made and you do it excessively, at the end of the day, the effect will still come back to you. It will come back. The effect will come. The other one is a strong muscles and increased longevity. That is the same point of how when you actually do exercise and you're physically fit, you can be able to, remain strong for a very long time. You can be able to. Now let's come to the mental health. We have reduced stress. Now, stress reduction, we don't just want to consider the aspect of when a problem happens and you're able to solve a problem or stuff. We want to tackle it in the in the point of resilience. Exercise, there are some hormones in our bodies that are released, and they just help to relieve this stress that we have. If you've realized, some people, when they go through very serious stress, they decide to just go to the treadmill. Others decide to run. So when they sweat or when they do that physical, because those hormones are produced into your bloodstreams and it relieves all that stress. So it is very many aspects of our life. And then the other one is better. My brother, take this and you decide, let me go and sleep. You will not sleep. You might sleep just because you will not be comfortable. You're feeling your stomach has noise, and then you realize that you're telling the story of your life, and then you're wondering what is happening. So balance your life so that you can have a quality life. And then productivity and performance. If you're fit, you're able to be very productive. We already gave an example of how you can be very productive if you get enough sleep. You eat good food and you come to work, you're hyper. Even in kids, take an example. I'm sure you've seen kids who are, I don't want to call them, uh, I don't know which word to call them, but there are two categories of kids. You'll see there are some kids who are very hyper, very, very active. These kids, it's not because yes, others are born naturally active, but then there are those ones that get them even from the food they eat. You see a child, okay, just take a hungry child and a child who has eaten food. You'll see that this one is happy, is playing, is cheerful, but the other one is just there dormant, expecting, you know, very moody, is not participating in anything. Because food gives the child energy. And if this child does not have energy, they cannot be able to do anything, and they do not become productive, and they just become very dormant. So the choices of foods that we take should be a priority, and we should make sure that we get it because of our social and emotional. If you someone
The network is breaking. The network is breaking. We can't seem to hear you clearly. Maybe try refreshing your internet quite a little. The network is breaking. We can hear you. Kindly try refreshing your internet. Thank you.
Now,
Not yet. Um, Not yet. It's totally off. Maybe just leave and then rejoin. Try to leave and rejoin. Yeah, try to leave and then rejoin. Probably it will get fixed. Okay, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's 3 minutes past 2 p.m. And if you just joined us, you are welcome to this session on fitness. So it's the second day of our masterclass on nutrition and fitness, and we've been able to look at a couple of things with regards to fitness and its interrelationship with nutrition. So we were able to look at physical fitness itself and the major components. We also looked at mental fitness and the aspects of mental fitness that we should be able to take quite seriously. And then we also look at social fitness and environmental fitness. So we looked at nutritional fitness, the aspects of sleep and rest, and then lifestyle choices, as well as health monitoring. So when we looked at these different aspects, so we said that fitness is multifaceted concept, and of course it encompasses different aspects of physical, mental, and social well-being. And it's not about just having a lean body or being able to run a marathon. And it also includes a range of components that contribute to overall health and wellness. We say that when we talk about physical fitness, we talk about the ability of your body to perform physical activities and tasks. And we look at components like cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, your flexibility, your body's flexibility, your muscular endurance, your muscular strength, as well as the composition of your body. And then when we looked at the mental fitness, she said that mental fitness involves cognitive and emotional well-being. And she went on to mention the aspects of mental fitness, which include stress management, cognitive abilities, resilience, name them. And then when we looked at the when she mentioned the aspects of social fitness, she said that social fitness pertains to an individual's ability to be able to build and maintain healthy relationships with others. So, this means that a strong network and positive interaction with peers and loved ones can significantly impact your overall well being and can contribute to your social fitness. And in this social fitness, she talked about communication skills and also your ability to build new relationships or even maintain existing relationships. And she also talked about environmental fitness, where she said that environmental fitness is being able to adapt to and thriving in an environment in which you live. So she said that this environmental fitness includes your ability to make sustainable choices and reduce the negative impact on your surrounding, where she explained aspects of environmental awareness as well as sustainability. For instance, if there are some climatic changes, we should be able to offer explanations for this. And then also she talked about sustainability, and then she moved on to talk of nutritional fitness, which is a cornerstone of overall fitness, and it involves eating a balanced diet that provides essential nutrients to support your physical and mental health. And she said that dietary choices can impact your body weight, your energy levels, and even your overall well-being. And she emphasized that having adequate sleep and rest are essential for physical and mental recovery and overall well being. So she said sleep hygiene practices, such as maintaining a regular sleep schedule and creating a comfortable sleep environment, can contribute to your fitness as an individual. And then also lifestyle choices such as avoiding smoking, limiting alcohol consumption, and managing stress can play a significant role in overall fitness. And she emphasized that it's very, very important for each and every individual to do regular health checkups and monitoring of vital signs such as blood pressure. You should know your blood level, you should know your cholesterol level, and you should be able to know your body measurements such as your height and weight, because this sort of monitoring helps assess and maintain fitness levels. So this is more like doing monitoring and evaluation for yourself as an individual, so that you are able to make healthy choices and maybe contribute to long life. Yeah. KG, I hope you're back now. Can you hear me? KG, can you hear me? KG, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I can hear you very clearly.
Okay, I can hear you also. You can proceed, please. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Very clearly. Okay. That was a commercial break. Thank you, Vida, for the nice input. I'm not quite sure where we ended or where you guys stopped listening to me, so I don't even know where to start from.
You ended at health monitoring. So
Hello.
you ended at health monitoring. So you can proceed from benefits of fitness.
So you guys. So I was talking about benefits of fitness. Okay. So maybe I just go through it again because I'm not quite sure where exactly I ended. So, and you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So I was talking about the benefits of fitness. If you are fit, how does it affect life? Bida, please note this question. There's a question that is coming. I'm not quite sure. Maybe we'll answer that later.
Yeah, yeah, you answer them
Okay. So
later.
the benefits of fitness are so many, very very many, and it is essential that if very healthy and quality lifestyle, it, it is very important that you consider the choice of living a a healthy lifestyle, which includes in fitness. And we said the importance of this to our body is disease prevention. And we talked about how knowing your statuses can prevent you from diseases that might or could likely occur to you. But because of health monitoring, you're able to know that this might happen if you don't do this. So this can help you from diseases that might come without your notice. And then weight management. Being fit also helps you to manage your weight, depending with the goal of the body that you want, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to gain weight, whether you're underweight or you're obese. You're able to work towards a desired goal, which is knowing your body type. And then improved immunity. That takes us to nutrition fitness. The kind of foods that you eat help to boost your immunity so that you can be strong and fight diseases that could come and attack your white blood cells. Then improved self-esteem. Know that self-esteem is a very important factor to our confidence. So if you're fit, be it physically or mentally, you're able to have a very high self-esteem, so that even when you're walking on the road, you know that what I've won today, I'm very confident about it, and that gives you, a quality of life that nobody can take away from you. So the exercise of being fit is very important, both for mental and emotional being. And then enhance mobility. Here we talk about having or doing physical activity to live a longer life. That become strong when you're young and do exercises and stuff will help you as you grow older to be stronger. So engage yourself in physical exercises like running, you know, lifting, so that you can have those strong bones. And then stronger muscles and increased longevity is what I've talked. And then in the mental sector, we've talked about stress reduction, how exercise actually helps your body reduce stress, because we have hormones in our body that are called endorphins. And these endorphins, they are released when you do physical exercises. When they are released, it helps our body to get rid of toxins that might affect our mental health. So imagine after you go for a long run and you've done this exercise, you've sweated, you come home, take a cold shower, and get a good sleep. By the time you wake up the next day, you're really very fresh. So it's important that we put this into consideration. And then we say the any fitness helps us to sleep better. If we do exercise or we eat well and we know our health status, we sleep well because okay, there's that way that you sleep. I am not this. So there is power in knowing your status. There is power in knowing yourself. And then productivity and performance. For you, if you're really fit, trust me, you will have all the quality of life you want, because you're able to multitask, you're able to this your finances, your environment, your social life with friends, productivity because you're fit. And then the other one is social and emotional support. We're also saying that fitness can help you to be able to help another person, because a broken person cannot help another broken person. So if you are fit, you can be able to help someone. So this person comes to you, oh my God, I really like your body. How do you do it? Or how did you do it? Whether it by telling them what you eat, or how do your workouts or your exercises. And then you grow together. And that's why it's important to be fit. And then cognitive benefits, now that is where stress management and trauma reduction comes in, how you tackle issues, situations when they arise, how you're able to maneuver and think around things, make decisions when situations arise within a very short period of time. And the last one is long-term cost saving. This is a very important point that I want us to note. Most of us might be working, There are others who are students. But let me tell you something. Long-term cost will come to our life if we don't consider the issues of fitness serious. Because whatever we are doing now, we are working, yes, we are making money and we are saving. Whichever work you're doing, I'm sure there are so many activities that you want to do with money. But then you decide to neglect your health, you decide to neglect your fitness health, you decide, oh, I have money, I'm saving. You don't want to go to the hospital. You're working the whole day, you want to buy good food so that you can eat and get energy. Why are you working? So that you can have a quality life. But if you cannot provide for yourself, that is the essence of working. Yes, I know you'll be working for your children, you're working for your family. There are so many reasons why you're working, but you should also know that yourself is very important, because those people will still depend on you. And now, how does this long-term cost come in? Because now you've been working yourself, you're drained, you're not getting good health facilities service, because you're saving, and this money you want to use it to do another thing. At the end of the day, you become very sick, to a situation where you can't even do anything, can't even walk. The same money you have saved is the same money you will use to go to the hospital. It is the same money that you will use to make sure that you get that life back you want. So at least balance. If you get that money, know that the more I am healthy, the more I'll make money. There will be a time when all that money that you've been saving will be used to do what? To treat you. And then you would have done nothing. So balancing your life is really, really very important, so that we don't have to get this loss that we'll spend on making sure that our health is in place. And then now let's talk about relationship between nutrition and fitness. What is the relationship? I'm not sure what's happening to my. Okay. What is the relationship between nutrition and fitness? Yesterday we talked about nutrition, about fitness. How are they interrelated between the two? Okay, like we said, for you to do exercise, you need energy. And for you to get energy, you need food. And for you to get that food, you have to eat nutritious food. That is the relationship. It means without this one, you might not be able to carry out the other one. So it is like the mutual. Without food, you want energy to do the exercise. Without food, you won't be having the micronutrients that your body needs. You'll have a deficiency, and then you become sick. You go to the hospital. Still food. Without food, the body you want, the body composition might not be as you desire. Because there are some people, they say, oh, I do go to the gym, I am physically fit. But what about your food? Even if you go to the gym every day, you don't eat the right kind of food that you're supposed to eat to get the desire of the body you want, you'll be doing nothing. Let's say you want to lose weight, you're obese, you go to the gym, because gym is the solution. If I go to the gym, I will lose weight. But you go to the gym today, you come back, you buy junk food. You buy chocolates, you buy ice cream, chicken, pizzas, burgers, and stuff. You eat. Because in your mind, you think tomorrow I'll still go to the gym. It is like removing rubbish and again putting rubbish. You're eating junk food and you're going to the gym. Tomorrow, the same thing you're eating, and the same thing you're going to the gym for it. So it makes no sense. The most important thing is now the decision you make to make a lifestyle. This is what I want to do. I want to lose weight. When I go to the gym, I'm supposed to eat a healthy food that does not have a lot of fats, that does not have a lot of sugar, so that I can cut down on the weight that I have. But if you don't do that, then you're doing totally wrong. So the relationship between nutrition and fitness is that. energy. Now let's talk about energy balance. Energy balance is what I've just explained. What you take in and what you bring out So if you go to the gym and you want to gain weight, you have to know the types of foods that you're eating. Or you're in the treadmill, you're running, and you want to gain weight. How is that possible? Or you want to gain weight and you're not eating the correct amount of food, at least 1 kilocalories a day. You're eating maybe 700. How are you going to not get to that goal? So knowing the relationship between food and nutrition is very crucial because that all involves in energy and food. So food is the center of all this. Nutritious food. When you eat, you can be able to become very active, you can be productive, you can be all those things that we mentioned. Another one is recovery. Do you know that when you go to the hospital, sometimes the doctor just tells you, please remember to eat before you take this medicine, eat before or after. Okay, you should take this medicine after 30 minutes of eating. You should do this after maybe 1 hour. Why? Because food is the center of this. There are some medicines that will work with some types of foods. When you eat this kind of food, the absorption of this medicine, that's why they tell you eat before or eat after. So if you can follow this, your recovery process will be very easy. Why? Because you're following the relationship between nutrition and fitness, and that is health fitness. And then we have optimal nutrient intake. This one we're talking about how you're supposed to know the kind of a person you are. Which one do you do? How is your lifestyle? Are you active? Are you dormant? If you're dormant, must you eat a lot of food that has so many calories? Because what are you going to do with those calories? You will just be gaining weight for nothing. But if you're a hyper person, you work almost the whole day and then you don't eat, how will it affect you? You will not get the energy that you need to work throughout the day. And then the other thing is meal timing and composition. This one comes to nutritional fitness. You might have the money, okay? You might have the access to the food, but which times do you eat? And what is the amount that you eat? You might be overeating or undereating. So please get to know yourself. I am this kind of a person because nutrition is individual. It's something that is individualized. You cannot generalize nutrition. And that needs you to know yourself that this person, this is the kind of work I do. It puts me to this level of person. Maybe my activity level is this, and this is the type of food I need. This is the amount of food I need. This is my kgs, and I want to have these kgs. So if you know all those aspects, you can be able to plan for yourself the kind of food that you're supposed to eat. And that way, if you eat very well, it will translate a very good fitness. You'll be active, you'll be productive, and you will be mentally stable. I hope we're good. So, I have some tips that I would like you to take away with you under this topic of nutrition and fitness. I have a few takeaways that I would like us to have in mind as we go to our various jobs or our community or our families. I'm sure some of us have children, some of us are married, some of us are bachelors or whichever category you're in. I want you to know this that promoting nutrition and fitness in a working environment is essential for improving the overall health and well-being of employees. I'm speaking about this because at some point in life all of us will get to that stage where we are working or where we are supposed to work so that we can provide for families or ourselves. And how is this important? Dear employees or employers, if you're going to have people who are going to be working for you, it is important to consider the following so that your employees can have very engaged mindset, very active, or being very productive. Because today I cannot bring, for instance, a house girl to my house and then I don't give them food. What happens? This person needs this energy so that they can carry out the chores of the house. It is just the same thing to a workplace. You're the boss, and these people are working, okay? And they're all working towards a goal. And the goal is maybe to make an impact on a specific society, or to bring to bring a profit if it's a company that deals with, retail or stuff. Whichever kind of work you're doing, there is a goal, and that goal is to make sure that it is achieved. But you cannot achieve that goal without workers, and that's why you bring employees, or you bring people to work for you. So if you don't treat these people in these ways that I'm going to tell you, it might be very hard for these people to give in their best. Why? Because they don't access some of the things that they might want to do. So, we are saying healthy employees are often productive and engaged, okay? And experience fewer sick days. Have you ever been in a situation where they are workers, but after every week they are sick? Every month they are sick. And what happens? Every time there's a sick person from work, there is a gap because there's a specific job that is not done. So this work is going to be given to somebody else to do it. And it might be difficult because you're doing a task that is supposed to be for somebody else, and it becomes hectic. Now you want to finish before the deadline. Now you're not getting enough sleep. You're running up and down. You don't even have time to go for lunch because, yeah, you want to finish the deadline. And that's because there was a gap. And that gap was caused because somebody was sick. The person was sick maybe because of a reason that was related to anything to do with. So here are some of the that I think, um, if you are a project leader here and you have people who are working for you, kindly put this into consideration so that you can have a workplace that is vibrant, a workplace that has active people so that they can be creative to come up with solutions. Number one is provide healthy food options. Yes, I also understand that not all workplaces provide food, okay? But if you are that organization or company or initiative that gives food, don't just provide food because it is a must to provide food. Ensure that the food that is being provided is healthy, so that on it, get the energy, get the excitement, and do work. Do the work with all the energy they have. So the other one is nutritional. I understand that not all workers are well equipped, but there are some workers who have knowledge on nutrition. So once a day, or I mean, once a month, or at least in 6 months, in the quarter of the year, at least hold a session on how your employees can be educated on nutrition. Tell them how food helps them and helps their mind, helps their families, and how it brings in a lot of good things. So if you can educate them so that they know that this and this and this is important to me, that way they can be able to devote to you. They can be able to do work with all the activity they have. Okay, they will be doing work willing because they feel they have to. Okay. The other one is promote regular physical activity. I also know of a few organizations who have programs like that. For example, you come to work, because obviously if you don't do it, some of them will not do it at home, so others resort to doing it in the workplace. For example, if you go to these big organizations, you find that they have gym places, and they have a time where they can go and have a physical activity. It does not mean only gym. Just a moment. It does not mean that it has to be only gym. Stretching
Looks like we have lost KG. KG, can you hear me? Okay, guys. We hope she bounces back. We just left with a few. She's just summarizing, and then we get done with the session. In the meantime, we have shared the attendance register in the chat box. Kindly uh, register your attendance for the session. I'm placing the link again in case you missed. Just check the chat box, and you should be able to register your attendance for the day. Otherwise, we're already summarizing the masterclass on nutrition and fitness. And today's emphasis is only on fitness. And for those of you who have been following keenly, we have talked about she talked about the benefits of fitness, where she said that fitness should not be overstated because it has a profound impact on an individual's physical health, mental well-being, and overall quality of life. She said that when you are fit, you are able to, it helps in physical health in aspects such as disease prevention, weight management, improved immunity, as well as self esteem, your enhanced mobility, and also stronger muscles and increased chances of long life. And she mentioned that also fitness comes with benefits to mental health, where she said that it helps in stress reduction. And then she also said that when you take good care of your mental health with proper fitness, you are able to have better sleep. And then
Hi,
you
Dida.
are okay, great. You're welcome back. You can continue.
I think I will just use my phone. I don't know what is happening to my laptop. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Just use your phone.
Okay. Um. Okay. Let me just open the word. So I was talking about. I don't really know where you ended. Where did you guys end again?
You were talking about these takeaways here.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the takeaways. So let me just go on from support active commuting. You know, as an employee, it is important that you also support your staff. For example, I was talking about if you're working in High Malakal and you live in Gudele, sometimes it's not always taking the bus every time. You can just decide, I'm getting out from work and I'm footing. You just walk and walk and walk and walk until you get home or until where you get tired, and then you can take a bus from there. That way, you're able to exercise. At least you're saving time and you're also giving yourself the exercise that your body needs. Because at the end of the day, if you're still going to use a bus, you might end up staying in the jam for like 2 hours, which still makes no difference. So you can always choose what works out for you. And then the other one is mental health and stress management. It is also important that employees, you provide your staff with mental health awareness. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. All right. So mental health, stress management is very important because employees have a life just like you have, and they might be going through a difficult time with their families, with their health. They might be tackling something that they really don't talk about. And sometimes when they come to work, they might not want to reveal it to you. And that's because, of course, it's not a work business. That is your personal business. But as the employee, you have to understand that people go through things, and it is your mandate to understand your employees, create that relationship with them so that you can know that this employee is going through this or going through that, so that when you even organize these sessions, they can be feeling good that they are included and you actually care about them, so that they can give you a service that is quality, so that they can be productive and give you something that will benefit the organization and also their personal life. So it doesn't have to be one way. And that's why we're saying as employers, I don't know which one is which, employees, but the one who is providing the job should be keen enough and ensure that his employees are in a good shape so that they provide quality. And then also provide standing or active meetings. Sometimes meetings don't have to be every time you're seated, because that will create laziness, boredom, because the project manager calls for a meeting and then you go and sit for 2 hours talking about a certain project or talking about a mistake that happened in a certain report. You're just seated. Let me tell you, you're not even talking to them. You'll be talking to yourself. So sometimes call for meetings and just exercise standing. You just stand and you speak. It doesn't have to be long, keep it brief and finish it, and then you go for other things. So you can also put that in your work. And then celebrate fitness and wellness days. This one also goes to organizations or companies or initiatives that you lead. If there are important days like World Sports Days, World Fitness Day, World Nutrition Day, it is good that you celebrate them so that they can also feel like these are important days and this is important in their life. You can do that by maybe organizing hikes with your work people. You can organize maybe a cooking, any activity that just involves in this fitness and nutrition, so that they can feel that this is something important to us and important to the organization. So it's not just like you're realizing the goals of the organization, but you're also making them to grow personally. And the second last is wellness programs and incentives. Incentives can be another one. Like I said, everyone has problems. People have things that are going on in their life, and it is not necessary that they will come and explain to you as the boss, or you will go and explain to your boss, oh, I'm going through this and that. So what can you do? The organization can decide and put down some money that can be given to employees as incentives, just in case somebody falls sick, or just in case this person wants to go maybe for a medical checkup, because we know that all these things need money. Okay. And maybe the money they're getting from the job does not allow them to actually do those tests or do those activities that we tell them to do. So at the end of the day, the money they get like this goes to children, to school, family, relatives, so and so's wedding, so and so has died, you need to contribute. These are factors of life. So if we can introduce incentives that can help these people to know that this money, I'm supposed to use it for this. Now, if they don't use it for the purpose intended, that is up to them, because that takes us back to life choices. It is you to decide what you want for your life. So companies, organizations, if you are a boss here, kindly put this into consideration, that your workers need that. Okay. The last one is feedback and communication. For us to do all these things, it is very important that we communicate, because you don't expect somebody to just read your mind. Nobody is a robot. Okay. Sometimes the way you express yourself is what determines the feedback that you get. So in the workplace, sometimes your boss might be doing something because he thinks it is the right thing to do. But on your side, it is not the right thing to do. But because he's your boss, you don't speak up. You just keep quiet, because you feel like at the end of the day, he's not going to do anything. Who told you? Did you ask, or did you communicate with him or her? So exercising communication is important. If you want your needs to be met, it's always good to talk. Tell them in a good way, not now mobilizing all the other workers and telling them, you know what, we have to go for strike. This man is not paying us on time. This man is giving us less money. Don't do it like that. That way you will not even get what you need, because the way you're doing it is not right. So instead, sit down, call for a meeting, whether it's an individual meeting. If it's something personal, you can call an individual meeting. Okay. It doesn't have to be just your boss, because you might not be comfortable with your boss. You can get somebody that you can trust within the work team and talk to them, so that they can carry the case forward, whichever way you do it, as long as you communicate so that your concerns are heard. And feedback. if something is being done, or maybe the employee brings an activity or something, and it's not okay, or you think the team does not like it, give a feedback. Tell them the service was this, and I don't think it was this, or this should be done so that it can improve. When you communicate and give feedback, at the end of the day, you realize that communication is a two-way factor. And at the end of the day, you realize that you understand each other and try to work on things that do not seem to be right. Because I need to know what you're going through before I do an action. Just the same way, I will not know what you need unless you talk to me. So let us embrace communication and giving feedback so that we can all have a better and a quality life in whatever we do. Otherwise, I think we are winding up. We've come to the end of our conversation. And now we have the time for questions. If you have any questions, you can text in the group so that we can tackle.
Yeah, and also in case you don't want to type, you can just raise your hand, and then uh, KG will be able to point you out and then allow you speak. Yeah, questions, please. Meanwhile, I can read for you questions in the chat box, KG.
Okay, okay.
I see a hand from Ojara. Ojara, you're welcome. You can speak, please.
Okay, good afternoon, team. It was a very good presentation from my side. I've learned a lot today starting from yesterday up to today. I think I don't have question, but I just need to give some comment concerning the last point, the feedback and communication. For sure, this is a very serious issue. And when you see most of these points in our area of work, some of them maybe are being handled, but some of us who are within the government sector, they are not touching on it. Like on Friday, my boss went to the surveillance room, the camera. So he was trying to look at those clients coming to him, because in the whole of institution, I think it's having more visitors than another person. When you ask, where are you going? I'm going to Mr. So-and-so. So when I went there, I met him. He asked, you are not controlling my people. I said, yes, I'm not controlling your people because you don't have what? You don't give us directive, and also you don't regulate the number of visitors coming to you. This is what I wanted to add.
Thank you, Ojera. Yeah, and that's why I feel like it is good to understand the person you work with. And that's why I said in the beginning, if your relationship with the person you're working with is not up to date, you can get somebody within the same institution whom you think can understand you. I understand the situation of my country. Not everyone will think the way you think, okay? Because maybe the book says, I don't want more than 5 visitors in a week. But somebody just comes, oh, this is my uncle, this is my aunt, I want to visit them. Not everyone follows the rules, but that does not stop us from communicating. You see that to your boss, if you sit down with him and tell him in a very good way, when he's in a very good mood, talk to him like, this is my work and this is the work I'm doing. And I feel bad that I'm not able to do this because you do this and this. Tell him what you think is not right in a good manner. Not when he comes to you and starts telling you, why didn't you do this? And then you also utter back, or you start giving him back. That way, it will be like a competition between each other. So you wait for a day and just go and sit down, or maybe just tell him, I would like to talk to you about something. Sit down with him and tell him, for me to work effectively, I feel like it is good for this and this and this to be done. Okay? You're giving him what you think should be done. So now you listen to his response, because obviously it will now be him to decide whether he wants to talk back or not. If he doesn't, at the end of the day, it is still your decision whether you still want to continue working or whether you still want to continue doing the same thing, because At the end of the day, it is still your life, and it is you to determine what you want and what is good for yourself. If the work environment is not favoring you and you've tried talking and it's not working out for you, my brother, your mental health is way more important. There are so many things that you can do, but always communicate. I think that's what I can tell you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I think I've seen another question in the group. Noah is asking, is gym good for fitness? The reason why I ask this question is because many people do complain of back pain and other health issues after practicing gym. Yes, gym is a form of fitness. But what people don't understand is this. When you go to the gym, you have to have a purpose. You have to have a goal. Because a gym is just a building, but the equipment that is inside that gym is what matters. You will find that there's a treadmill, you'll find that there are weights that you want to lift, so many things. So what are you working towards? If you want to lose weight, of course your work will be the treadmill, because you'll be running, you want to burn that fat. And then another thing, people don't follow the regulations of a gym. You know you're a starter, you're just a baby in the gym, you want to lift 50 kgs. Why won't you expect to have a back problem? You start small, because your body is not used to that kind of weight or that kind of thing you're lifting. It's just like today when you lift something heavy, tomorrow when you wake up, you will feel that pain. But if you continue to do the same thing, a time will come when your body will get used to, your body will detect, oh, this is something that my body keeps doing every day. So what I recommend is, yes, gym is good for fitness, actually very good. But when you're doing up the workout, be very careful, because you might end up lifting something very heavy and then you break your bones or you hurt your back and you have so many complications. So start small. The stronger you become, the easier the workout becomes. So take it small, one at a time, until you're able to lift that 50 kgs, and then you're good to go. Don't rush it, but it's good for fitness, if that's what you're asking. Another question?
Okay, there was an earlier question in the group where somebody was asking that what is the difference between food nutrition and dietetics, also food safety, like differentiate food nutrition, dietetics, and food safety. That clarify the words to him.
Okay.
It's Peter Dada.
Okay. He's saying nutrition, dietetics, and what?
Food safety.
And food safety. Okay, let me begin with nutrition. Nutrition is the science of knowing that you're supposed to eat. Just like I explained yesterday, it is general. Like, this food, it contains this kind of components, and when I eat it, I can get this kind of vitamins or this kind of nutrient from it. So it is like the overall intake of food and how it works in our body and how it is utilized in our body. And dietetics, just from the word diet, this is more of medical, okay? And that's why you find dietitians are mostly working in the hospitals. But a nutritionist can work in the hospital and in the community, okay? So a dietitian is somebody who can prescribe a diet, okay? And that's why it's called dietetics. So for example, if a person comes to the hospital and this person has diabetes, this person is supposed to see a dietitian, okay? Yes, they can see a nutritionist, but nutritionist mostly deals so much into the counseling part, into telling you what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to keep yourself and stuff. But now the dietitian tells you the amounts you're supposed to eat. For example, you have now diabetes, like I said, you come, she assesses your diabetes levels and the insulin you're in, and tells you, okay, you're going to eat this fruit, but if you're eating this fruit, you don't eat a whole one, eat a half, or eat this specific kind of fruit, eat this kind of food, don't eat this kind of food, don't do this. So they prescribe specific type of food that you're supposed to eat. But a nutritionist, you can do the counseling, You can also do the prescription of food, yes, but that is purely the role of a dietitian to prescribe diet. While food safety is the situation where a person can be able to access quality food, available food at any given time, okay? And this food has to be safe. For example, food safety has so many factors like preservation, manufacturing. If you have this food, how are you going to keep it safe? Because the situation here is not the food, it is how you're going to keep this food safe for a long usage. For example, I plant groundnuts and I harvest them. So if I don't have food safety, I will not have good preservation methods. Maybe I will not dry them, or maybe I will not make them into peanut. And these groundnuts can easily go wrong. They can easily go bad. Why? Because they have not been preserved. The manufacturing process, how is it made when it's taken to the industries? Is it in clean places? If it is eaten, how is it going to affect people? Which kind of microbacteria live in this kind of granules so that this food can be spoiled? Or how do you actually preserve this food at home so that it can stay long? So it has aspects of how this food is, the food is produced, how it is distributed to people, and how labeling is done. And this is one thing I wanted to talk about, actually, the labeling. When we go to the supermarkets or even to the shops, you'll find that every food, if not all, every food has a nutritional label. You'll find they tell you, take this amount for this, or eat this amount at this. The manufacture date, they put it there. The expiry date, they put it there. But do you know what people do? Because of advertisement and business, not many people do that. You just go to the supermarket, you look for the cheap one, and you don't even look at the date for manufacture. You just pick something and you go home because it is cheaper. Now imagine we have 2 tomato sauce. They are the same, but the prices are different. This one has a higher price, this one has a cheaper price. Now you say, you just go for the cheap one because this one is cheap. But if you look at the expiry date to tomato sauces, you'll find that this one maybe is expiring in a month, the other one is expiring up to next year, and that's why it's very expensive. So if you decide to go for the cheap one because it's expiring next month, most times it has actually expired. Because by the time I put that it's expiring in May, it actually expired in April. But because of business purposes and advertisement, nobody wants to make losses. So when you go to a supermarket or to buy anything, please and please and please and please always look at the expiry dates. Because these foods that we eat, especially this packed food, they have chemicals. Take it this way. You've bought food. For example, if you buy tomatoes, like the tomatoes from the market, the organic ones, you go with it home and you put it in a saucepan, just leave it there. Tomorrow, if you come, these tomatoes will spoil. Or give it 2 days, they will spoil. Even if it is vegetables, they will spoil. So food is meant to spoil. But the technological interventions that came brought in now these chemicals so that they can increase the longevity of the food, so that they can stay longer. But now if these chemicals are put in these foods, they also have expiry dates. Now, if we don't look at these expiry dates, we just consume chemicals that will also affect our lives. So please, if you're going to buy something, especially this packed food, kindly look at the expiry dates. That should be the first thing you look at. When is the expiry date? If it is close, don't buy it. Don't do it. Yeah. So that's one thing I wanted to add on. Otherwise, thank you so much, guys, for the questions. Unless there's another question.
Is there any other question? Do you have another question, gentlemen? Do you have any other question? Okay. Yeah, I think there's no other question. You have answered all the question. If you have any other question, guys, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, we are left with 5 minutes to wrap up this session, and I would like to, yes, Ojara, I see your hand is up again.
Yes, Bidar. You see, this go to KG. You see, most of us fail to read the expiring date because we are ignorant. You see, we need a lot of mentorship in this area. It involves each of us responsibility. You see, where South Sudan came from, I believe we were not ready to become a country. We found ourselves already a country. That's why we have a lot of challenges. For instance, even if you move within Juba Grocery, you go to the locality, every person, when they go to the shop, they need something cheaper. And I was even reading regarding that. That is one. Two, also we have that system that we South Sudanese will have cheap thing, with the exception other South Sudan. But most of us prefer things which are cheaper. Some years back, I was seeing one of the store around Konyo Konyo. When the biscuits, when in 6 months, getting expired, they used to take to schools. They distribute to school. Komboni was one of the school I normally see. They take their biscuit. And also some years back, I think last year, I saw also there was another company. It's a national company, actually. They were distributing out sodas to some of the organized forces, which was already expiring in 1 week time. So that's why it takes us back that some of us are ignorant. And secondly, we need free thing. That's what I wanted to add.
Okay.
Question.
Thank you, Ojera. This is true, very, very true. But one thing you should know is that yeah, I know our country is still coming up, and there's so much that we need to learn, and there's so much that is needed to. We need to tell people. You should start. You should be that change. You can start telling people what you already know, okay, so that they can also tell other people. So today, if I tell you, tell another person, another tells another, and one step at a time, I'm sure we'll be able to gain something. The other thing is cheap is expensive. Cheap is expensive, because you think that I'm buying this because it is cheap, or this, the other one is expensive, I can't afford it. The long-term effect is what is going to be very expensive for you to treat that thing that you actually bought very cheap. Now these sodas they are giving these kids, or these biscuits, of course it will have an effect on them, but nobody will tell them that. Of course they are kids, they are happy that it's a free thing. I'm happy I've gotten free biscuits and stuff, but they don't consider the effect it will have on these children. And now this is where our government is supposed to come in very actively, because the government has a responsibility to take care of its people. But if the government is only minding of other factors, like they don't care about the kind of food its citizen eats, maybe the food that is even exported from the other country, is it even invigilated? Is it looked at? Is the content even looked at? Okay, what you're importing, which chemicals have been put there? We don't have such people to invigilate and see the kind of food that people eat. Because of money, everyone wants money in their pocket. They forget that when these things are consumed, with time, it will affect people. So I don't want to say our government has failed us without saying our government has failed us, but if there are ways government can be held accountable for this, then it will be important, because you cannot be giving people free things that have expired, knowing very well that it will harm them. Yeah. Otherwise, thank you so much for asking.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys. I see there are no other extra questions. I would like to sincerely thank you so much, KP, for taking precious time to be able first to prepare the materials and also deliver to the audience that we have here, and also for being able to adequately answer the questions that have been asked by members of the audience. To all the attendees, we will be able to share the training resources via email. We'll usually put the slides on SlideShare, and then you download there as a PDF document. This session has also been live streamed on YouTube. You can always check it out in case there's something that you would like to revisit. You can always watch the video. And also, in case you have colleagues who are looking for learning materials around this topic, you can also share these resources with them so that together they are able also to benefit from the knowledge that has been shared here. We wish you guys the very best of your afternoon, and then as you start the new week, wish you success and best wishes in whatever that you do. Thank you so much. Enjoy your afternoon.